Hey everybody, my name is Kai and I am a mortgage broker in Calgary, Alberta. Today I am with Kevin Huynh and we're going to be chatting. I'm going to have a few questions for him. He's going to have a few questions for me regarding the current real estate market, and hope you guys going to get some value out of this. So Kevin,
Yes.
go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Yes. Thanks for having me today, Kite. My name is Kevin, and I am a local Calgary agent. And with the current changing landscaping of housing, landing, and everything, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to have Kai here to talk about, all the informations that have been flowing around here, right? So we just want to confirm and give everybody the correct information here. So I have a few questions for you regarding the new changing rules of about the new amortizations guideline from the Bank of Canada for first-time buyer, and how is this going to affect them?
So as you already know, Bank of Canada, first of all, they held the interest rate, the overnight interest rate. They also came out with the new announcement that new first-time home buyers now can get up to 30 years amortization, but for now is only applicable on new build only. Okay, so if you're buying like a pre-construction, now before you can get maximum 25 years amortization, now you can get up 30. Now at the market, at the market with high purchase price such as Vancouver or GTA area, it might not necessarily be helpful because of the purchase price. If you're buying condo, pre-built condo, you can still utilize that. But essentially, what we're trying to do is to help the first-time home buyers with the affordability that they have to pay every month. So now, instead of back in the day, an insured mortgage is when you have less than 25%, less than 20% down payment. Now, and then you have to stay within that 25 years amortization guideline. Now you can go up to 30, and the change, I believe, it will take effect in August 1st of this year.
Right. Any special requirements for that 30 years amortizations? How is that going to come down in terms of guidelines, or what's not allowed to be
So
within
it
that
has to
amortization?
be, yeah. So it has to be an insured mortgage. So insured mortgage, the purchase price has to be under 1 million. The down payment, you're going to have to be less than 20%.
Right.
And you are going to have to get an involvement of a insurer. So whether it's a CMHC or Canada Guarantee or Sagen. Every other guideline for uninsured mortgage in terms of debt servicing ratio and a couple of other guidelines are still remain the same.
Right. So this is helping the first-time buyers with less than 20% down payment. That doesn't matter if it's a new constructions. You mentioned before, right? It has to be with new constructions, or can it be with anything on the MLS?
Now, for now, it's applied only for new build, but the professional in the industry is pushing for the extended amortization to be applicable not only on the new build, but also on existing build, right?
Right. So we have to keep in mind, everyone, because some of the builders do require more than 20% as a deposit when you purchase or sign an agreement. So for anything or any contract with the builder that under the 20% threshold, it's going to be eligible for the 30 years amortization. Is that correct?
Yeah, and given that you qualify, and this is where working with a realtor is super, super important, because now you're dealing with a builder, and if you don't have anybody that can act on your behalf and look at the contract and point out the advantages or the disadvantages that you're getting yourself into, then you're already behind. I highly recommend to be working with a realtor such as Kevin, so that he can really help you look into that contract.
Perfect. And how is this going to help the first-time buyer to get into a new build? Is it that they may have more buying power, or maybe it helps with the monthly payment, or can you touch on that with the longer amortizations? What are the benefits, Kai?
Absolutely. So you're absolutely right, Kevin. It will help with both because
Hmm.
now the amortization period is longer, so you have more time to repay the mortgage. It will help you improve the buying power as well as decrease the monthly payment that you have to pay. Now,
Right.
over the term of the loan, the amount of interest that you pay might increase, or it actually will
Mhm.
increase because now you have a longer term. However, there are ways to mitigate this by actually having prepayment features within your mortgage. So if you are able to, you can contribute more, you can pay more into the mortgage without triggering penalty, and any
Right.
payment that you pay on top of your regular payment will go directly towards the principal, and that will help reduce the total amount of interest payment that you're going to be paying over the overall term of the loan.
We can dive into more details about the prepayment without penalty, maybe in another sections, because I think it's really helpful for everybody to understand what are their, um, legal obligations with the mortgage and what are they allowed and not allowed to do within the mortgage terms, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, stay tuned. So my next question is for you. So the rate hold move with the Bank of Canada, everybody knows about this. Is this signaling for something? Is it, because if I'm not mistaken, this is the third consecutive time or fourth consecutive time that the Bank of Canada has been holding rate steady at 5%. What are your thoughts?
This is a question that even the most noted economist has issues with, but
Yes,
I'm just gonna give
I'm
you,
putting you on the spot here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll share with you my thinking based on
Okay.
what I've seen and my 2 cents. So it's when it comes to monetary policy, right? They
Right.
have a purpose behind what they do, and they will not stop until they reach the goals that they set out to do, right? To
Right.
to get. So the Bank of Canada, their goal is to reduce their inflation to 2%, right?
Right.
So the inflation data came in March. We were at 2.78%,
Getting
which
pretty
was
close.
reduced. Yeah, we was reduced from the previous one where we came in at 2.86 in
Right.
January.
Right.
So, there has been a reduction. However, inflation is quite the way that they measure inflation is everything happened already, and then they take that data and they calculate it. So
Right.
there's no way you can see the trend of what is
Yes.
happening, but there's
Yes.
no way for you to know what the next inflation measurement will come in at,
Fair.
right?
Because it takes time for the market to adjust and then they do the calculations based on that.
Exactly. If it comes in aligned with what they're wanting to do, then
Mhm.
there's a potential of either they hold the rate, or if it's come in better than expected, there is a chance for them to cut the rate.
Right.
And it's really important for people who are getting into the housing market is to
Mhm.
base your decision on the now, right? So do the number,
Yes.
do the calculation. Can you afford your house now? And then
Mhm.
because you're already being stress tested, so there's a 2% added into your qualifying
Right.
interest,
Yeah.
being
Mhm.
tested at higher. So do
Mhm.
it on the now. Don't come in
Mhm.
overstretching yourself, banking on the bank will lower the interest rate, because
Yeah.
we don't know when it's going to happen and how much is going to happen. So
Yeah.
do it now. If you're comfortable with the now, then pull the trigger. But don't make your decision based on the future that not yet happened event.
Yes, and that is a very nice touch on the questions that I get asked all the time. Is it a good time to buy? It's a good time to buy is actually yesterday, honestly. And coming from a salesman, it may seem like a sales tactic, but Kai, you can speak on this because the market is keep changing, is keep shifting in a way where, especially the Calgary market, where we just moving so fast, right? Right. So my last question is for you. I think this is a very exciting week for first-time buyers, especially um, despite all the things going on around. But there was an announcement as well for the new RRSP uh, prepayment period. Can you comment on that and dive into that a little bit more, Kai?
Absolutely. So the new rule with the RRSP, so first time home buyer plan is called. Originally, if you're the first time home buyer and you've been contributing to the RSP, now one word of caution, not all type of RSP is redeemable for this purpose.
Right.
So you got to make sure you check with your employer or your RSP provider to ensure that you can actually redeem the RSP for the purpose of buying your first home
Right.
before you go and look. So, check with a mortgage broker, check with a mortgage specialist, chat with the RSP provider to get that question answered first.
Right.
But other than that, Norm, originally the first-time homebuyer can borrow up to $35,000 from their RSP to use it towards the down payment for their home. And then after that, they have 2-year grace period where they do not have to repay anything. And then from the third year, they have 15 years that they have to repay into that RSP again, whatever the amount that they borrow from, essentially. If they
Okay.
don't pay it back, then it just got added into their income for that year, and then they have to pay income tax for that portion that they haven't paid back yet. For the new rule, so the new rule came out. It essentially now instead of they increased the 35,000 limit to 60,000 to reflect the
Okay.
cost of housing, because housing now costs more. So you can borrow not 35, but now you can borrow 60,000 as well
Against
as
your
against
against
your
your
RSP.
RSP. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So maximum amount is now 60,000 instead of 35. And
Right.
then before you only have 2 years grace period before you
Hmm.
have to pay it back. With the
Right.
new rule, you have 5 years. So you have an additional 3 year.
Okay.
But yeah, amount of time that's required for you to pay it back stay the same. So 15 years.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So a little bit of leap room there, just so that I guess what the government is trying to do is just to help people to get into their first homes. Is there anything that you'd like to pass along?
No, I think you're very spot on with all of your questions. Is all of the news that happened, and it's quite a lot of news happened in one day.
It's
To be
crazy.
honest with you, and
Yeah,
and this is to show you how quick policy can change, right?
yeah, it's amazing, and that's part of the reason why we want to do this meeting. It's just that there's misinformation is being passed around, right? So I want to get to the audience the most accurate and from the professionals, just so that you can make the best choice for yourself and for your family.
Absolutely, and one word of caution. So a lot of people can be passing a lot of things around. So
Yeah.
whenever in doubt, make sure you talk to somebody or talk to a few people, right,
Mhm.
who have the capacity to answer those questions for you. So if it's real estate related, talk to Kevin. If it's mortgage related, you can talk to me or your mortgage specialist. But
Got you. And when people do have those questions, how they can reach you, Kai?
when you have a question, you can reach me by send me a direct message through Facebook. On my Facebook page, there is my phone number. You can give me a phone call. You can send an email, and I'm
Mhm.
always open to answer questions or help with any type of inquiries that you might have. So don't hesitate and don't be shy to reach out. I will be happy to help.
Sure. What's your handle on Facebook, or how can people find you on Facebook under what name?
My Facebook is Kai Lu Mortgage. And then
Hmm.
on Instagram, my handle is Mr.KLUU. Yeah, you
Okay.
can give me those ones. And then my phone number is 403-991-4042. Shoot me a text,
Hmm.
give me a call. I'm happy to chat. Thank you very much, Kevin. I think, all of your questions are great questions. I really appreciate it. And
Hmm.
you give me the chance to answer those questions and bring the information to the people. So greatly appreciate it, man.
My
I
pleasure.
also have a few questions for you in terms of the real estate side.
Right.
Now, as we already know here, the market in Calgary specifically has been crazy quite, in the last year or so.
Yes. Yeah.
And, you get multiple bidding in each property you go to. People are being bidded out when they put in offers and such. So, Kevin, can you elaborate on what kind of expectations that a buyer should prepare themselves mentally and maybe financially when
Yeah,
they start to go out there and look for a property,
yeah,
and what are the things that they can expect to help themselves up for success both financially and emotionally?
right. Um, Very good questions, guys, and yeah, thank you for that. For people that are looking into getting their feet wet and getting themselves into the market, I guess it's never been a better time to do so. But in order for you to navigate through this very, very competitive market, and there's no doubt that it is, it's been going around and it's continued to, moving in a way where things are just keep going up. For people that are looking to buy and getting into the market is, I feel like getting yourself prepared with a pre-approved by a mortgage specialist or a mortgage professional, because when things get super competitive, you don't have a lot of time, right? When you find something you like, sometimes you have very little your due diligence period, also known as your conditional period, to get everything done. Now, um, if you have done the first step of getting pre-approved, it's also helped you in a way where it puts you in expectations of what price range are you able to afford, and you're not outbidding yourself. And the second point is to work with a realtor. So a realtor can provide you with a lot of valuable information, and then finding properties to meet your criteria, navigating the buying process, and that will give you the competitive edge with the most up-to-date informations, insights of the market to help you negotiate on the deal. Not a lot of people know this, but getting a realtor to help you on a new build is also very, very good. People get shied away when they come to visit a show home unpresented. Not all people out there are working for your best interest. And I've done a deal recently where I help a buyer to get through with a lot that they've been wanting to get in this very beautiful community, and I was able to get them roughly around $47,000 worth of upgrades and options, right? Which they would never
Right.
know if those questions were not asked, right? And I use the comparables in the area just to make sure that okay, this is the home that they build. Is it comparable with you know size, square footage, conditions, whatever, whatnot, lot size? Is it competitive with the market? Also, budgeting. A lot of people overseeing this, but they get so excited with getting a home and going out there to see different houses and stuff. But there's costs associated with owning a home, and I like
Absolutely.
yeah, and I like to put this as fixed costs and floating costs, right? Fixed cost is your mortgage, right? Your property tax, your insurance. Floating costs is your utilities, your internet, and going on maintenance and repairs. So make sure you. I help my clients with this too. Just kind of rough estimates of what are you looking for in terms of monthly payment. Is it going to be okay? And doing this sometime will help you with sometimes you have to bid a little bit more to get your home, which nobody like to do. I don't like doing that either, but sometimes that's the only way for you to win, right? So having this uh, bigger purchase price than what you anticipated, how is that going to look? And the last point is stressful process. I wouldn't call it stressful, but lots of things that you need to consider, but don't forget to have fun. It's one of your biggest purchase of your life, right? And it's a home that you are buying for you and your family as well. So enjoy the process. Let us do the work, and yeah, that's all I have.
That's a very good point. That the last point you touched on there, Kevin, is, yeah, just remember to chill. Like,
Yeah,
we got you. Yes, it can be stressful, but
yeah,
hey, that's why we're here. That's what we're here for.
right.
And when emotion is high, we don't do a lot of thinking anymore. So that's
Yes,
sometimes that is when we make mistakes, right? So it's really
yeah,
important to kind of just keep it chill and take a
yeah.
few days to digest the information. Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate that very much. That's very good insight. And my
Hmm.
second questions is, what are some of the things that actually is there's two parts of this question.
Right.
What are some of the things that you recommend besides getting pre-approved for the mortgage, getting the
Hmm.
budgeting, but in terms of, I don't, in terms of strategy, like when you go in, is there anything
Right.
that you can do without, but increasing the chance of winning a bet, but without
Right.
having to put themselves at risk,
Right.
by remove too many conditions, or
Mhm.
by not having the condition that can potentially protect themselves, right? So is there
Right.
anything that you can elaborate on, or the things that you help your client with in terms of to
Yeah.
navigate this process?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, our job is to make sure that you get the home protected as possible, right? And that's what we're here for. There's a few things that you need to pay attention to make your offer more appealing. Higher deposit. A lot of people don't understand this, but deposit goes towards your down payment. But by putting down higher deposit, you show the sellers that, hey, I'm serious enough to get this deal through. So by having that higher deposit, it helps you, and it just kind of make your offer stands out. The second point is be flexible on closing dates. So normally when I go into a competitive offer situations, I ask my clients, hey, are you okay with being flexible with the closing dates, with the possession dates, right? And then I go to the other side. I tell the listing agents, if my clients are okay, and be like, hey, we're flexible on closing. So if there's a time that you prefer, you just let us know and see what we can do, right? And then another thing is that you already mentioned is having a mortgage pre-approved, and getting that pre-approved letter sometimes is really helpful because in some cases, with the buyer's consent, I can um, present this letter to the listing agent, right? When I submit the offer, I can tell them my clients are good to go because we start seeing a lot of listings that goes pending and then ended up being back on the market. So by me doing this will increase your chance and put an ease in the seller's minds. Escalation clause, right? This is where it gets to a very um, touchy and sensitive and also complicated process. Basically, an escalation clause will allow you to go up um, in an increment that you set, right? So in your offer, in the terms, you could do, I hereby agree to escalate my offer at an increment of $1,000 to outbid the highest offer to. Here's a few things with escalations clause, and the two major things that that's the key is the increment and what's the maximum number that you're willing to go up to, right? So increment $1,000, how much you're willing to beat the highest offer, whatever, $500, $1,000, $2,000, to the maximum number. Let's say at $400,000. That's my max. I'm not going to go any um, higher than that, right? Doing
Yeah.
it this way will help you to get a foot ahead, right? And without having to revise the paperwork all the time, and just to be fast.
Yeah.
I often say this a lot, and a lot of people are surprised when they say this. But yes, not having conditions will help you win the deal, but I would advise against that. And there's different ways and different scenarios, right? That when you can go in without conditions. Um, you comfortable with looking at houses, which I don't think all the first time home buyers are. By looking at the place, you know exactly what needs to be done, roof, windows, repairs, and such. Okay, you can go in without, or if you know somebody, if you have a family, friends, a contractor that go in with you, and they have a look and they say, okay, exactly what we need to do, then okay, you can go without a home inspection conditions. And if you already got your mortgage approved, still need to be ratified by the bank, right? So by not having conditions will expose you to a certain risk. Um, in counter to this, I advise people to not have non-essential conditions, right? In a way, you can, this is where we come in, and this is where our work is really shining on this to help clients through with some of the deals that doesn't get released on the market. We get these sometimes, and with our private network, people will put it on and they say, hey, we have a due diligence period. You can come by, have a look at the place, whatever, whatnot, right? Previewing, you may call it. And then with condos and such, they normally release, they don't normally do this, but some do. They will release the condo package, the condo documents package, right? So then you can have all of this done prior to writing your offer. So you know that you're going to be covered and going in with a strong um, offer, right? With less contingency and less conditions as possible. And another thing is that you can shorten your contingency or condition period. You know, we used to ask for 10 to 15 business days to go for financing or home inspections. Of course, if there's one offer between you and the seller, that's totally fine. But if there's a few more offers, then that will put your offer at the bottom list, right? If you have too long of a contingency and condition period. Those are a few things that you need to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think your share will help the buyers to prepare themselves, both financially and mentally when they go out there. We usually, for fun, we usually call it the battle of the buyers.
Yes.
It's because multiple are bidding it for the one property. So it's really important to be working with.
It gets super, super stressful, but like I said, we're here to endorse all that stress for you, just to make sure that you can still retain that excitement of getting a home, right? So yeah.
Okay, Kevin, can you please share some of your the contact information if people want to get a hold of you,
Yes.
Via Facebook or Instagram or through phone number? How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm always available on my cell phone, which the phone number is 403-835-6159. If I don't pick up right away, you can text me, to shoot me a text just to make sure that I can get back to you in time. I'm on Facebook, Instagram. Both of the handle on Facebook and Instagram is homesbykevin.ca. I post regularly with the content that helps buyers and sellers in this so-called competitive and crazy market. So take advantage of that. Yeah.
Call Kevin, guys. If you need help, if you have any question regarding buying home, call him. Any question about mortgage, give me a shout.
Right. Thank you for asking me these questions. They are very, very good questions, and I think everybody needs to know this. Yeah.
All right, everybody. I think that's that's it for us today. I hope you enjoy our session, our mini session today. There's so many other things that that needs to be talked about, but we don't have the time for that. So hopefully next time we'll have multiple videos to address other issues and concerns. Thank you very much. If you have any question, give us a shout, send us a message. And I can't wait to meet and chat with you guys. Kevin, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's all. And all of our contact information will be posted whichever platforms will be just right at the descriptions of that post, so you can find them there.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kevin, for joining me today, and we'll see you again soon, man.
For having me, guys. Take care.
Right. Take care.